babysitter. Okay. Welcome back. Part 2 of the discussion on Drake's Dark Lane demo tapes and Mozzy's Beyond Bulletproof. Do you remember the point you were making before we were cut off? We can start fresh and reset.
No, I don't remember.
So we were talking about basically the challenge of where Drake is right now in his career.
Okay.
All Jay had to do was keep being Jay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, all he had to do was get the best producers and make the best music. He didn't have to reinvent the wheel every time.
Right.
Drake was on, I keep referencing this podcast, it was really valuable. Rap Radar podcast that Drake did. And what he talked about was 40 always pushes him to make the 10 song classic. 10, 11 songs and out. That's what 40 wants.
Right. Absolutely.
And he says, I can't do that because I got my hip hop people over here and they want bars. They want quotables. But over here, I've got my pop people, my radio people, my R&B people.
Yep.
They want Marvin's Room.
Yep.
So I've got to feed both.
Well, that's why you need a producer. You need discernment. If you're making a project, you need another person in that room that's going to tell you the truth and tell you this is what you need, this is what you don't need.
Right.
And then you have to live by that. Like, once you make that decision, once you make that album and you make those album choices, you live by it. You take that risk. And that's what I'm saying. When you're shooting so many balls, or you're juggling all these balls, Drake is not really taking any risk.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And the great albums are the albums that take risk.
Yeah, I'm always the guy who's like, I kind of want the most of this thing, right? Mm-hmm. So if you've got this issue, if Drake was coming to say, I got the R&B people over here, they want me to work with Chris Brown. I got the people over here, they want me to work with Benny, right? I would say, look, man, start making 2 albums.
Yep.
Right? Start stacking the rap shit up, start stacking the R&B shit up, and just put them out separate.
Yeah, if that's what you need.
Put them out separate, man. Like, focus on your stuff in a way where you can do them the best. And I don't know that you can do them the best in this way.
Yeah. And I mean, let's go back. If we go back to Scorpion, that was him trying to please everybody. You know what I mean? And he really, so Scorpion was well over 20 tracks.
Right.
And so that's him trying to, feed everyone who wants R&B Drake, and then feed everyone who wants bars Drake. But what he ended up doing was diluting the message.
Yes.
Because he refused to make a choice, and he refused to make a hard decision or take a risk about the direction that the album should go in.
Well, and what the risk he refused to take, and this is a super hard thing, is you can't put all your songs on there. You got to kill some of them, man.
Yeah.
Even the ones you like, even the ones that are good, you got to kill some of those, man.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I wonder how many Tupac songs that we haven't heard.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when Tupac is making, even with the double albums, how many double albums did he make? Did he have 2 or 1?
Oof, it's 2, but one was like After Death, I think.
Oh, okay.
Are You Still Down was After Death.
Right. All Eyes on Me is the double album, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So even for that, I mean, that's well over 20 tracks, but I wonder how many songs that he cut from that he could have put on the album.
It's just weird, man, because it's just a different situation. And I think Dark Lane Demo Tapes highlights the challenges that he has ahead of him. we might be talking about the problems he has with his content and with his editing for
Yes.
years. It might become like the Tarantino thing, right? Where everybody was like, man, Tarantino movies, they're always overstuffed. They're always too long. Uh,
Yep.
his editor, is gone, and that's what did it. Like, yeah.
And the issue I think that Drake is running into, and this is what became more apparent to me when I listened to Mozzy, and I think Pusha kind of touched on it a couple of years ago as well. Like Drake really doesn't have anything to rap about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Mozzy is an African American male.
Mm-hmm.
Drake is a Canadian, he's half Jewish and half African American.
Biracial, yeah. Yeah.
Biracial. So he doesn't have that content to draw on that Mozzy has.
And and Drake does have points in his career where he was just as double stuffed with money, but he had content, right? He
Yeah.
he pushed himself harder. I've never
Yes.
been a guy who believes that, like, I've known people who have been through horrible shit and then they got to a good point in their life and they're like, I can't write anymore, dude. Like, I'm too happy. I'm like, fuck off. That's not what writing's for.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's the issue. And then the second part of what I was saying with Drake is that so he doesn't really have anything to write about, and the stuff that he could write about, he's choosing not to write about.
Yes, yes. And so, and I guess my summation here of why I put these albums next to each other was people aren't going to hear the Mozzy. And he put his whole heart and soul into it.
Absolutely.
And people are listening to this Drake, and even the Yo review, I disagree. Like, that it's cool to watch him do layups. Like, I I disagree that, like, this is basically like the special features thing on the DVD. And that's the way people talk about it. People are like, it's cool to, like, get to know, like, his process and, like, see other songs. It didn't. No, man. You're watching the special features of a movie you've seen a million times.
Yeah.
You should just watch a new movie.
Yeah. I
And
mean, it's
Mozzy is that new movie. You should be listening to Mozzy, and you should be getting engaged with someone who's really into this.
yeah. And I mean, when I put them side by side, I just realized it makes me realize how vapid Drake is right now. He's just, there's nothing like there. The whole dark lane demos or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What did he really say? He didn't say. I mean, you listen to 10, 11 tracks or whatever, however long it is,
15.
and he didn't say anything.
Crazy. Yeah. No, I mean, he's very good, so you won't know if he doesn't say anything.
Yeah, that he's a good bullshit artist, absolutely.
But by the way, I'm not worried about his next album at all. I'm not saying that this means Drake's in a decline. That is not my angle here.
Right.
Drake is going to be fine, but I'd like him to focus his energy, and I'd like him to lead.
Yeah.
I don't want you stealing flows from British rappers. I don't want to hear, like, Dave's psychodrama flow on your track. I don't want to hear WizKid's Afrobeat stuff on your track. I want you to lead.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're the guy. Lead. Like,
absolutely.
Show these kids how to do this. People have been ripping you off for years. Now it's time for you to do something new so they can rip you off again.
Yeah. I need him to take risk. He hasn't taken a risk in, gosh, what? I can't remember the last time he took a risk. Maybe maybe if you're reading this, it's too late.
If you start, and the reason to put Beyond Bulletproof into this is it starts with the bars, right?
Mm-hmm.
The bars are irreplaceable.
Right.
No one in the world could have given me Beyond Bulletproof, but Mozzy.
Absolutely.
And no one else can fill that need for me. If that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. If you if you have if you put your personality in your music and your soul in your music, it becomes huge. People
Yeah.
can feel it. They can feel it.
Yep.
That's why there's a there's a skit on the new Kalani album where it's just Megan Thee Stallion talking shit from like her Instagram. Because it's so fun to listen to Megan Thee Stallion talk shit. She's so great
Absolutely.
at it. And she's such an interesting, unique personality,
Yep.
right? Like brazen and hard nosed and pimpsy, but also just seems like a very caring, nice person. You know,
Right.
just she's such an interesting mixture of everything, and
Absolutely.
that's what Mozzy gives you, right? In that off the muscle uh, part that I read, you know, he's rolling in there like giving money to a homeless dude outside the store.
Mm-hmm.
How long's it been since Drake's even been in that kind of store? I mean, it's so
Yeah.
it's just different, and I want more people to know these different hearts of different regions. I mean, these
Absolutely.
are important people, and you should check what they do. It's yeah,
And it's like touching back to what you said, like this Beyond Bulletproof, it feels like something was at stake. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
There was tension. Tension is built on something being at stake. And I haven't heard anything for Drake. Like I haven't heard anything like all of his recent projects. Nothing's been at stake.
Right.
So there's been no tension. But with this Mozzy, like when you're going back to what you said from the gate about how the context of albums changes. Like when you listen to Eazy-E, you listen to NWA, Eazy-E has passed away. That there just feels like there's stakes to this Beyond Bulletproof album. Like this
He
means
knows it. I mean, he knows it. And
yes,
the whole
yes,
crazy breakdown I gave of how fragile the title is, you can hear it in the song Bulletproofly.
mm-hmm.
You remember that? Like
Yes,
they
yep,
say, "You love me bulletproofly, but I can't tell."
yeah,
He's everything. He's absolutely uh, broken and PTSD and vulnerable, like
yep,
incredibly vulnerable.
yep,
But he's also uh, dangerous and maniacal, and like he's thinking about the murders he's seen and trying to shake them from his soul.
mm,
Like
yeah,
it's different, man. It's different, and he reports this stuff. And one of my favorite moments I've ever had in a movie theater, ever, was going to Black Panther, and they flash back and they say, was it 1990?
mm-hmm.
Compton,
Compton,
California.
yep,
And the first voice you hear is Mozzy.
yeah. The Disney movie, Marvel, yeah, man.
And I just was smiling ear to ear, obnoxiously telling my wife, that's Mozzy. She doesn't know Mozzy. And I'm so excited that the whole fucking world was gonna hear his voice, man. Oh, it made me so happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I root for these people, all these people, and And I think Drake does too. This is one of the reasons I don't dislike him. He's not doing what what Marshall did with like sitting back and writing diss songs to all these guys. Like he puts people on. Like
He does, absolutely. I agree.
if I met Drake and started talking radiantly about bulletproof, beyond bulletproof, he'd do it with me. Like
Yeah, you're right.
he's heard it. He loves it. Like he's heard shit that I haven't heard.
Yeah. I mean,
And
he's got his hand on the pulse, or his thumb on the pulse, or whatever. He knows what's up.
yep, yeah, he is massaging the booty of the pulse as we speak. But he's on Instagram probably. But yeah, listen to these albums. Listen to as much of Dark Lane as you can, and if you hate it, switch to Beyond Bulletproof, buddy. It'll take care of things. Recommendation corner. Paris Alexa released an album called Too Real. It's excellent. I was really torn what to buy, the Kalani album or that album. I picked the Kalani album because she's going to be number one. She deserves to be number one. It's been a long time, and I'm just happy to be part of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
She's it kind of feels like they're sister albums, Chilumbo and the Kalani. It feels like there's just a lot of common stuff going on there. It's very cool. But yeah, do you have anything to recommend?
No, man, not really. I was listening to the Kalani album as well. It was good till it wasn't. Is that?
Yep. It was good till it wasn't.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
I mean,
that's what I would recommend as well.
K Diggy always recommends prostate checks. Just get your prostate checked
by a doctor.
By a doctor, not by an uncle. So yeah, but it was good, and I enjoyed this experience of contrasting these albums. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we made it through the technical difficulties, damn it. And we'll be back next week.
Yeah, man.
Wash your friggin' hands. Stay away from me in the grocery store.